One of the most powerful spiritual truths that can completely change your life forever is the truth that you deserve to be loved and lavishly provided for. This great change doesn't need any special techniques or hard work. It doesn't require you to follow complicated steps or buy expensive courses. This truth is about who you believe you are deep inside your heart and soul. For example, if you want true love in your life, you first need to believe you deserve love on the inside before it shows up on the outside. If you want financial abundance, you need to feel worthy of prosperity in your inner world before money flows into your outer world. Otherwise, you'll keep jumping from person to person, thinking something is wrong with you. You'll keep switching from job to job, wondering why success never sticks around. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you watched someone who seems to have everything handed to them on a silver platter? They find love easily, money flows to them, opportunities just appear in their life. Meanwhile, you're working twice as hard and getting half the results. The difference isn't luck. The difference isn't connections or being born into the right family. The difference is that deep down, they believe they deserve good things, and you might not. This isn't about being selfish or thinking you're better than others. This is about recognizing a fundamental spiritual law that governs how life works. When you truly believe you deserve love and abundance, the universe responds by bringing exactly that into your experience. When you secretly believe you don't deserve good things, life confirms that belief too. Here's the first important lesson that will shake everything you thought you knew about getting what you want in life. If you don't change how you see yourself inside, nothing will change outside. Not your relationships, not your bank account, not your opportunities, not your happiness, nothing. This is the heart of deserving love and abundance. Most people spend their whole lives trying to change their outside world while their inside world stays exactly the same. They're like someone standing in front of a mirror, not liking what they see, and trying to change the reflection instead of changing themselves. If you master this truth about your worthiness, everything in your life will flow with ease and grace. Love will find you instead of you chasing after it. Money will come to you instead of you desperately working for every penny. Opportunities will present themselves instead of you fighting for every chance. But here's what makes this challenging. This means you have to face the voices in your head that say you're not good enough, or you don't deserve good things. You have to confront the part of you that whispers, people like you don't get to have that, or you're asking for too much. You have to look at the beliefs you've carried for years, maybe since childhood, that tell you to settle for less. These voices didn't appear out of nowhere. Maybe someone told you that you weren't special. Maybe you grew up watching your parents struggle and learned that struggling is normal. Maybe you were taught that wanting good things makes you greedy or ungrateful. Maybe you learned that love has to be earned through perfect behavior. Whatever created these beliefs, they're running your life right now. They're making your decisions for you. They're choosing your relationships for you. They're determining how much money you allow yourself to have. They're deciding how much happiness you think you're allowed to experience. When you truly understand and live from the place of knowing you deserve love and abundance, it's like you develop a magic touch. Everything you get involved with starts to prosper. Your relationships become deeper and more fulfilling. Your work becomes more successful and satisfying. Even your health improves because you start taking better care of yourself. This happens because you stop operating from a place of lack and desperation. You stop accepting crumbs when you deserve the whole feast. You stop saying yes to people and situations that don't honor your worth. You start making choices from a place of knowing you deserve the best, not from a place of fear that this might be all you can get. But here's the part that requires real courage. This journey requires you to confront your own demons. It requires you to look at the patterns you've been running that keep you small. It requires you to examine the relationships in your life and admit which ones are built on you not knowing your worth. You might have to admit that you've been accepting less than you deserve in love because you were afraid no one else would want you. You might have to face the fact that you've been undercharging for your work because you don't believe you're worth more. You might have to recognize that you've been giving away your time and energy to people who don't appreciate it because you thought that's how you earn love. These realizations can be uncomfortable. They can make you feel angry at yourself for settling. They can make you sad about all the time you've wasted accepting less. But this discomfort is the price of freedom. This discomfort is what it costs to step into a life where you receive the love and abundance you've always dreamed of. If you're really ready to receive the love and abundance that's meant for you, if you're tired of watching other people live the life you want while you struggle, if you're done with accepting crumbs when your heart knows you deserve abundance, then what I'm about to share with you will change everything. Life is like a mirror that shows you exactly how you feel about yourself and what you think you deserve. Your inner world creates your outer world in ways that are so precise, it's almost magical. Everything you see in your life right now is a reflection of what you believe about yourself deep down. Let me explain what I mean, because this concept will revolutionize how you see everything that happens to you. If deep down you believe, I'm not worthy of real love, then life will say, okay, that's what you believe, so here's proof of why you're right. Life will bring you people who are emotionally unavailable, who take you for granted, who don't appreciate your value. If you believe good things don't happen to people like me, then life will consistently show you examples of opportunities passing you by. This isn't because life is cruel or because you're cursed. This is because life is responding to the signal you're sending out about what you think you deserve. It's like you're broadcasting a radio station, and life is just tuning in to whatever frequency you're putting out. Think about the signal you've been broadcasting. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thought that goes through your mind about yourself? When you look in the mirror, what do you say to yourself? When something good happens to someone else, do you think that could never happen to me? Or do you think if it can happen for them, it can happen for me too? These thoughts might seem small and unimportant, but they're actually the most important things in your life. They're the signal you're sending to the universe about what you expect to receive. They're the instructions you're giving to life about how to treat you. If you wake up every morning thinking, here we go again, another day of the same old struggles, then you're ordering more struggles from the universe. If you look in the mirror and think, I'm getting old and nobody will ever love me, then you're placing an order for loneliness. If you think, I'm just not the kind of person who gets lucky breaks, then you're requesting more missed opportunities. But here's what most people don't understand. The outside world is just showing you what you already believe about yourself on the inside. Your relationships, your bank account, your opportunities, your health, your happiness, they're all mirrors reflecting back your deepest beliefs about what you deserve. This is crucial to understand because it means your current reality isn't the whole truth about what's possible for you. Your current reality is just the result of what you've believed up until now. If you've been single for years, that doesn't mean you're unlovable. It means you've been believing something about yourself that attracts unavailable people or pushes love away. If you've been struggling financially, that doesn't mean you're bad with money or that abundance isn't meant for you. It means you've been carrying beliefs about money that keep it at a distance. Maybe you learned that money is the root of all evil, or that rich people are greedy, or that you have to work yourself to death to have financial security. If you've been passed over for promotions or opportunities, that doesn't mean you're not talented enough. It means you've been believing something about yourself that makes you invisible to the right people, or causes you to self-sabotage when good things come your way. Your current reality is like a photograph that was taken with the camera settings you had before, but you can change the camera settings. You can change what gets captured in the next photograph. You can change what shows up in your life by changing what you believe about what you deserve. Here's a universal law that governs everything. The universe can only give you what you believe you deserve, not what you say you want, not what you think you should have, but what you truly believe in your heart you deserve. This is why positive thinking alone doesn't work. You can say affirmations all day long, but if deep down you don't believe you deserve what you're affirming, the universe hears the doubt, not the words. The universe is like the most sophisticated computer ever created, and it's programmed to give you experiences that match your internal programming about your worth. If your internal programming says, "I deserve love, but only if I'm perfect," then you'll attract people who are critical and demanding. If your programming says, "I deserve money, but I have to work really hard for it," then you'll create experiences where money comes, but only through struggle and stress. Let me give you some examples of how this mirror works in real life. If you believe deep down that you have to earn love through being useful, you'll attract people who only call you when they need something. The mirror is showing you your belief that love is conditional on what you can do for others. If you believe that you're not smart enough or educated enough to have financial success, you'll find yourself in situations where you're overlooked for opportunities that go to people with degrees or credentials. The mirror is showing you your belief that your natural intelligence and wisdom aren't valuable enough. If you believe that expressing your needs makes you selfish or needy, you'll attract relationships where your needs are ignored or dismissed. The mirror is showing you your belief that your desires don't matter as much as other people's. If you believe that you have to struggle to prove you deserve good things, you'll create a life full of unnecessary obstacles and challenges. The mirror is showing you your belief that ease and flow mean you're not working hard enough. Here's something that trips up a lot of people. There's a huge difference between deserving something and earning something. Earning is about what you do. Deserving is about who you are. You don't have to earn your worthiness any more than a flower has to earn the right to bloom. You were born deserving love, not because of anything you've done or achieved, but because you exist. You were born deserving abundance, not because you've worked hard enough to prove yourself, but because abundance is your natural state. You were born deserving happiness, not because you've been good enough, but because joy is your birthright. But somewhere along the way, most of us learned that we have to earn these things. We learned that love is something we get if we behave correctly. We learned that abundance is something we receive if we work hard enough. We learned that happiness is something we deserve only after we've suffered enough. These lessons turned us into people who are constantly trying to prove our worth instead of people who know our worth. They turned us into people who chase after love instead of people who attract love. They turned us into people who struggle for abundance instead of people who allow abundance to flow to them. Most people are stuck trying to change their reflection in the mirror instead of changing what's creating the reflection. They're trying to force people to love them instead of becoming someone who naturally attracts love. They're trying to chase money instead of becoming someone who money flows to easily. It's like standing in front of a mirror, not liking your hair, and trying to brush the hair in the reflection instead of brushing your actual hair. It doesn't work because you're trying to change the effect instead of the cause. When you try to change your outside world without changing your inside world, you might get temporary results, but they never last. You might convince someone to date you, but if you don't believe you deserve love, the relationship will either end or become miserable. You might land a high-paying job, but if you don't believe you deserve financial abundance, you'll either lose the job or find ways to sabotage your success. This is why so many people get trapped in cycles where they get what they want for a little while, but then lose it again. They're trying to change the reflection instead of changing themselves. They're trying to manipulate their outside world instead of transforming their inside world. The scariest part about this is that most of your beliefs about what you deserve are hidden from your conscious mind. You're not walking around thinking, I don't deserve love. But somewhere in your subconscious, there might be a program running that says, people like me don't get to have the fairy tale romance. You're not consciously thinking, I don't deserve money. But deep down, there might be a belief that says, if I have a lot of money, people will think I'm greedy, or having money will change me into someone I don't want to be. These hidden beliefs are running your life from behind the scenes. They're making decisions for you without you even realizing it. They're the reason you sabotage good opportunities. They're the reason you attract people who don't treat you well. They're the reason you settle for less than what your heart truly wants. The mirror of life is always looking for ways to confirm what you believe about yourself. If you believe you're not worthy of love, life will bring you evidence of that belief. You'll meet people who aren't available for real connection. You'll attract partners who are commitment phobic. You'll find yourself in relationships where you give more than you receive. But here's what's amazing about this law. It works just as powerfully in the positive direction. If you truly believe you deserve deep, genuine love, life will bring you evidence of that belief too. You'll meet people who are capable of real intimacy. You'll attract partners who want to commit to you. You'll find yourself in relationships where love flows both ways. If you believe you deserve abundance and prosperity, opportunities will appear seemingly out of nowhere. Money will come to you through unexpected channels. People will want to pay you well for your gifts and talents. The mirror doesn't judge your beliefs as good or bad. It just reflects them back to you with perfect accuracy. This is why understanding this principle is so powerful. Once you realize that your outside world is just showing you your inside world, you can focus on changing the inside, and the outside will change automatically. The first key to receiving love and abundance is understanding that your life reflects two things: how you feel about yourself and how you see the world treating you. In other words, what you see in your life is a picture of how worthy you feel inside your own heart and soul. This is the most fundamental key because once you understand this, everything else starts to make sense. Every relationship in your life, every financial situation you've experienced, every opportunity that has come or gone, they're all showing you something about your relationship with yourself and your relationship with the world around you. Let's start with your relationship with yourself, because this is where everything begins. How do you talk to yourself when no one else is around? What do you say when you make a mistake? How do you treat yourself when you're going through a difficult time? The way you relate to yourself is the template for how everyone else will relate to you. If you look at yourself and think, I'm not good enough for real love, the mirror will simply reflect that belief back to you. You'll attract people who confirm that you're not good enough. They might be people who are always pointing out your flaws, people who compare you to others, people who make you feel like you have to earn their affection. If you look at yourself and think, I'm not smart enough to be successful, life will bring you situations that confirm this belief. You'll find yourself in environments where you feel stupid or inadequate. You'll be passed over for opportunities. You'll second-guess yourself so much that you sabotage your own success. If you look at yourself and think, I'm too much for people, you'll attract individuals who make you feel like you need to shrink yourself to be acceptable. You'll find yourself constantly apologizing for who you are, dimming your light so others feel comfortable around you. The universe is like a loyal friend who always agrees with what you believe about yourself. This friend never argues with you or tries to convince you that you're wrong about yourself. If you say, I'm not worthy, this friend says, you're absolutely right, and here's more proof. If you say, I deserve the best, this friend says, you're absolutely right, and here's how we're going to make that happen. This is why arguing with your current reality doesn't work. If you're single and you keep saying, "This is so unfair, I should have love by now," you're actually confirming to the universe that love is something that's being withheld from you unfairly. The universe hears this and says, "Okay, you believe love is being unfairly withheld, so let's continue that pattern." If you're struggling financially and you keep saying, "I can't catch a break, money is so hard to come by," you're telling the universe that your experience of money should be struggle and scarcity. The universe, being your loyal friend, says, "Absolutely, let's make sure money continues to be hard to come by." The second part of what the mirror reflects is your relationship with the world around you. This is about how you expect the world to treat you, what you believe the world owes you, and what you think is possible for someone like you. If you believe the world is a harsh place where you have to fight for everything you get, you'll create experiences that confirm this belief. You'll encounter people who are competitive and aggressive. You'll find yourself in situations where you have to struggle for recognition. You'll experience setbacks that feel like the world is working against you. If you believe the world is abundant and supportive and that there's enough for everyone, you'll create experiences that reflect this belief. You'll encounter people who want to help you succeed. You'll find yourself in situations where opportunities flow easily. You'll experience synchronicities that feel like the world is conspiring to help you. Everyone has stories about how life works, and these stories create your reality. Maybe your story is, life is hard, and then you die. Maybe it's, you have to work twice as hard to get half as much. Maybe it's, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Maybe it's, all the good ones are taken. These stories might feel like facts about reality, but they're actually just beliefs that create your experience of reality. Someone else can live in the same world as you and have completely different experiences because they're operating from different stories about how life works. So instead of trying to force people to love you or chase after money or fight for opportunities, you need to change the image you're projecting to the mirror of life. This is like changing the picture on a movie projector. If you don't like what's showing up on the screen, you don't try to change the screen. You change the picture on the projector. The image you're projecting includes your thoughts about yourself, your feelings about your worth, your expectations about how life treats people like you, and your beliefs about what's possible for someone with your background, education, appearance, or circumstances. Here's something crucial to understand. There's a big difference between trying to manipulate the mirror and actually transforming the image you're projecting. Manipulation is like trying to convince someone to love you by being who you think they want you to be. Transformation is becoming someone who naturally attracts love by loving yourself first. Manipulation is like trying to get money by pretending to be more successful than you are. Transformation is becoming someone who naturally attracts abundance by believing you deserve prosperity. Manipulation is exhausting because you're constantly trying to control something outside of yourself. Transformation is effortless because you're changing something inside yourself, and the outside world changes automatically in response. This is one of the most important keys to remember because it's the foundation for everything else. Until you understand that your outer world is reflecting your inner world, you'll keep trying to change the wrong things. You'll keep trying to find the perfect person instead of becoming someone who attracts perfect love. You'll keep trying to find the perfect opportunity instead of becoming someone who creates opportunities wherever they go. Once you understand this key, you realize that you have incredible power. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're not stuck with whatever life hands you. You're actually the creator of your reality, and you can change your reality by changing how you see yourself and how you expect the world to treat you. What you need to understand is that when you start believing you deserve love and abundance, it takes time to show up in your real life. This is one of the most important things to know because most people give up right before their breakthrough happens. Here's why there's a delay. In your inner world, you can instantly imagine being loved and provided for just by closing your eyes. You can see yourself in a beautiful relationship, living in your dream home, doing work you love, having financial freedom. In your imagination, these things can happen instantly, but in the physical world, things take time to change because matter is dense and can't break the laws of nature to make everything appear instantly. There are logistics involved. There are other people involved. There are timing factors that have to align. There are old patterns that need to dissolve and new patterns that need to form. Think about it this way. If you decide you want to get in shape, you can instantly see yourself with your ideal body in your mind, but your physical body needs time to respond to new eating habits and exercise routines. If you decide you want to learn a new skill, you can instantly imagine yourself being expert at it, but your brain needs time to form new neural pathways. The same principle applies to changing your worthiness and attracting love and abundance. You can instantly decide that you deserve the best, but your life needs time to reorganize itself around this new belief. Old relationships might need to fade away to make room for better ones. Old job situations might need to end to make space for better opportunities. This means you have to hold on to your new belief about being worthy long enough for your desire to manifest. You must stay true to knowing you deserve love and abundance until it shows up in your life, even when you don't see evidence of it yet. This is where most people fail. They start believing they deserve better, but when results don't come immediately, they think, "See, I knew this wouldn't work for me," and they go back to their old beliefs. They interpret the delay as evidence that they don't actually deserve what they want. Many people start believing they're worthy, but when results don't come immediately, they go back to feeling unworthy, creating a cycle of ups and downs that never ends. Let me paint a picture of how this looks. Someone decides they deserve love. They start feeling good about themselves. They start putting themselves out there. They start believing that the right person is coming. For a few weeks, they feel optimistic and confident. But then time passes and they're still single, so they start to doubt. They think, maybe I'm fooling myself. Maybe I really am too old, too damaged, too different to find love. So they go back to feeling unworthy and their energy shifts. They stop taking care of themselves as well. They stop putting themselves in situations where they could meet someone. They start focusing on all the evidence that they're going to be alone forever. And sure enough, their external reality starts reflecting this internal shift. But then they get tired of feeling bad, so they decide to try believing in themselves again. They cycle back up into hope and optimism. But since they didn't stay in the positive belief long enough the first time, they haven't created enough momentum for their external reality to change yet, so they cycle back down again when they don't see results. The key to breaking this cycle is understanding that the delay is normal and expected. It's not evidence that you don't deserve what you want. It's not proof that this doesn't work for you. It's just the natural lag time between inner change and outer change. Think about planting a seed. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every few days to see if it's growing yet. You know that growth is happening underneath the surface even when you can't see it. You know that if you keep watering it and giving it sunlight, it will eventually break through the soil and become the plant it's meant to be. Your new beliefs about your worthiness are like seeds. When you first plant them, nothing seems to change in your external world. But growth is happening underneath the surface. Your energy is shifting. Your vibration is changing. You're starting to make different choices. You're starting to show up differently in the world. Before you see external changes, there are invisible changes happening. You start carrying yourself differently. You start speaking to yourself with more kindness. You start making decisions based on what you deserve rather than what you think you can get. You start saying no to things that don't honor your worth. These invisible changes are like the root system of a plant growing underground. They're preparing the foundation for the visible changes that will come later. But most people don't recognize these invisible changes as progress, so they give up before the visible changes have time to appear. You must stay faithful to your new identity as someone who deserves love and abundance, even when your external world hasn't caught up yet. This means continuing to treat yourself like someone who deserves the best, even when you're still single. This means continuing to manage your money like someone who deserves abundance, even when your bank account is still small. This means continuing to speak about yourself and your future like someone who knows good things are coming, even when you can't see how they're going to happen yet. This means continuing to make choices based on your worth rather than your current circumstances. The people who get what they want are not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who stay consistent with their new beliefs long enough for their external reality to catch up. They're the ones who understand that the delay doesn't mean denial. When you stay consistent with believing you deserve love, eventually you'll meet someone who treats you the way you've been treating yourself. When you stay consistent with believing you deserve abundance, eventually opportunities will show up that match your internal sense of worth. Here's something powerful I practice every day. The mirror of life doesn't reflect your feelings themselves, but the content of your thoughts. This is a game-changing concept that will revolutionize how you create your reality. Let me explain what I mean. If you keep saying things like, "I hate being alone," "I hate struggling with money," or "I hate that no one appreciates me," the mirror doesn't reflect the hate. It reflects the specific things you're focusing on. The universe doesn't hear the emotion. It hears the subject matter. For example, when you say, "I hate being alone," the universe hears being alone and says, "Okay, you're focusing on being alone, so let me give you more experiences of being alone." When you say, "I hate struggling with money," the universe hears struggling with money and responds with, "Got it. More money struggles coming right up." When you say, "I hate that no one appreciates me," the universe hears "no one appreciates me" and creates more situations where you feel unappreciated. The universe is like a very literal friend who only pays attention to what you're talking about, not how you feel about it. This is why complaining about what you don't want actually creates more of what you don't want. Your attention is like a spotlight, and whatever you shine that spotlight on grows in your experience. It doesn't matter if you're shining the spotlight on something because you love it or because you hate it. The spotlight itself is what makes it grow. Most people spend most of their mental energy focused on what's wrong with their lives. They wake up thinking about their problems. They go to sleep thinking about what they don't have. They spend their conversations complaining about what's not working. And then they wonder why their problems seem to multiply. When you focus on what you lack, you're operating from a scarcity mentality. Scarcity says there's not enough to go around. Scarcity says you have to fight for your share. Scarcity says if someone else has what you want, there's less available for you. But abundance says there's plenty for everyone. Abundance says the universe is constantly creating more. Abundance says someone else's success is evidence that success is possible, not evidence that there's less success available for you. The difference between scarcity and abundance is simply a question of seeing the glass as half full rather than half empty. It's the same glass, the same amount of water, but your perception of it creates a completely different experience. Instead of saying, "I'm so tired of being single," you can say, "I'm excited about the love that's coming into my life." Instead of, "I can't afford anything," you can say, "I'm grateful for the abundance that's flowing to me." Instead of, "No one ever recognizes my talents," you can say, I appreciate all the ways the universe is opening doors for me. This isn't about lying to yourself or pretending everything is perfect when it's not. This is about training your mind to focus on what you want to create rather than what you want to escape. This is about becoming someone who looks for evidence of what's working rather than someone who collects evidence of what's wrong. When you focus on what you want and what you already have, your energy completely shifts. You start feeling grateful instead of deprived. You start feeling hopeful instead of hopeless. You start feeling abundant instead of lacking. And this new energy is what attracts the experiences that match it. People can feel your energy before you even speak. When you're focused on lack, you carry an energy of desperation and need. When you're focused on abundance, you carry an energy of fulfillment and overflow. Which energy do you think is more attractive to love and opportunities? The key to applying this in your life is simple. Focus on what you want and what you already have. Make a daily practice of looking for evidence that good things are happening in your life. Train your mind to notice progress instead of problems. To make any change happen, you need to start focusing on what you already have right now. Everything you have, all the progress you've made, the beautiful relationships in your life, the small blessings that you might be taking for granted. Stop and think, what do I want? What would make my life a real journey of discovery? How does that look? How does it feel? It can be a vague image as long as you're focused on what you want. And when you do that, when you continue to focus on what you want, the gap between your current life and your desired life begins to close. This happens because you start to push the boundaries of your comfort zone naturally. You start making different choices because you're focused on different things. When you appreciate what you have, you create momentum for more good things to come. When you focus on the love that's already in your life, from friends, family, pets, or even the love you're learning to give yourself, you become a magnet for more love. When you focus on the money that does flow to you, your paycheck, unexpected refunds, gifts from others, you become a magnet for more money. This works because appreciation is the highest vibration you can be in. When you're genuinely grateful for what you have, you're telling the universe, I love receiving good things. Please send me more. When you're constantly complaining about what you don't have, you're telling the universe, I don't like my life, but please keep it exactly the same. The universe responds to your vibration, not your words. You can say you want love while vibrating frustration about being single, and the universe will match your vibration of frustration, not your words about wanting love. But when you genuinely appreciate the love that's already in your life, you vibrate love, and the universe matches that by sending you more experiences of love. Start building the habit of asking yourself different questions. Instead of, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Instead of, why can't I find love? Ask, how can I love myself better today? Instead of, why don't I have enough money? Ask, how can I appreciate the abundance I do have? These questions train your mind to look in a different direction. They train you to focus on solutions instead of problems, on possibilities instead of limitations, on what you can control instead of what you can't control. And this new focus will start attracting experiences that match it. This final key will change everything forever. If you learn to understand and reverse this worthiness cycle for yourself, you will no longer be uncertain about what you're doing. You will literally see reality changing before your eyes in ways that will amaze you. Most people are stuck in a cycle that keeps them feeling unworthy, and they don't even realize they're trapped in it. Let me show you exactly how this cycle works so you can break free from it once and for all. It all starts with observation. Most people begin by looking at their current situation. They observe their empty bed and think about being alone. They look at their bank account and focus on not having enough money. They examine their job situation and concentrate on everything that's wrong with it. They study their body and notice everything they want to change about it. This observation creates what I call the present moment trap. When you look at the present moment and see bills to pay, a job you don't like, a relationship status you want to change, or any other circumstance that doesn't match your dreams, you use these observations to form your internal image or attitude. When I say image, I mean the internal attitude, thoughts, and feelings that you present to the mirror of life. So if you observe being single, you form an internal image of, I'm the kind of person who can't find love. If you observe financial struggle, you create an internal image of, I'm the kind of person who always struggles with money. When you form this image based on what you observe, the mirror of life has no choice but to reflect it back to you. So it reflects and forms reality according to the reflected image. The mirror says, okay, you believe you're the kind of person who can't find love, so here's more evidence of that. Or, you believe you're always going to struggle with money, so here are more money struggles. But here's where it becomes an addictive trap that most people find themselves in. What usually happens is that people look at the reflection again and remain trapped in this cycle. They observe the new evidence of being unworthy, which reinforces their image of being unworthy, which creates more reflections of unworthiness. They watch and remain stuck in that pattern, and in the end they think, damn, this keeps happening again and again. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And then they try different tactics and strategies. They try new dating apps. They try different job searching techniques. They try new business ideas, and nothing works. It's like these strategies work for a while and get them excited, but then they go back to that same pattern. They might meet someone promising, but the relationship doesn't last. They might get a new job, but they end up unhappy there too. They might make some money, but then they lose it or something expensive breaks down. This happens simply because they can't make an internal change. They're still operating from the same internal image of being unworthy. So no matter what external strategies they try, they keep creating the same results. I want you to remember something very important. This pattern continues because there is no fundamental change happening in terms of worldview and identity. Most people are running the standard cycle that I call the puppet cycle. Observe, then create image, then get reflection. When you're in this cycle, you're like a puppet being controlled by your circumstances. Your circumstances tell you how to feel about yourself. Your bank account determines your self-worth. Your relationship status decides whether you're lovable. Other people's opinions shape your identity. But if you want to become a co-creator, a true creator of your reality, you need to reverse this cycle completely. Instead of letting your observations create your image, you need to consciously choose your image first. I say this because I've been through it myself for many years in my life. But when I really understood this cycle, everything changed. The moment I stopped being a puppet of my circumstances and started being the conscious creator of my internal image, my whole life transformed. To break this cycle, we first start with the image we would like to form. We turn our backs on the reflection. We turn our back on looking at our current reality as the source of truth about who we are, because we begin to realize that what is around us now has only been formed from decisions and beliefs we made in the past. You need to realize this or nothing will change. Your current reality is not a reflection of what's possible for you. It's only a reflection of what you've believed about yourself up until now. If you want to shape tomorrow, you must consciously choose your internal image today. So we start with the image we want to create. We consciously choose to see ourselves as worthy of love, worthy of abundance, worthy of respect, worthy of all good things. We say, This is what I want and this is what I deserve, regardless of what our current circumstances look like. When we choose this image and hold it consistently, the mirror has no choice but to start reflecting it back to us in small amounts, little by little. Even small changes will happen slowly, with that delay we talked about earlier. So what do we do next? Instead of observing our old reality, we confirm our new reality. We take a look in the mirror to see what's working, and when we see the reflection, we think, oh, that's working. Look, that happened. This is completely different from observation. Observation looks for what's wrong or missing. Confirmation looks for what's right and growing. Observation collects evidence of why you can't have what you want. Confirmation collects evidence of why you can have what you want. If you want more confidence, over time you'll notice that people will start to welcome you better, and you focus on that instead of the people who don't. If you wanted to improve some aspect of your work or business, you'll notice that some things are getting better, and you focus on those improvements instead of what's still not working. Your whole world may be falling apart, but you only focus on the things you want to confirm. You only pay attention to the things that correspond to that worldview and identity you've chosen to create. You become like a detective looking for clues that your new identity is working, instead of a critic looking for evidence that it's not. The idea is that you always keep doing this. The more you keep focusing on confirmation instead of observation, the more evidence you'll find. And the more evidence you find, the stronger your new image becomes. And the stronger your new image becomes, the more powerfully the mirror reflects it back to you. This creates an upward spiral instead of a downward spiral. Instead of your circumstances making you feel unworthy, which creates more unworthy circumstances, your chosen identity makes you look for worthiness, which creates more worthy circumstances. Here's how to create your new identity as someone who deserves love and abundance. This is where the real transformation begins, because your identity is the foundation of everything you experience in life. First, you need to get clear about what you want. What does being loved and provided for look like in your life? Not just in 10 years, but what would it feel like right now to know that you deserve love and abundance? What would change about how you carry yourself, how you speak to yourself, how you make decisions? What are you doing every day when you're living this reality of being loved and provided for? How do you spend your time when you know you're worthy? How do you treat yourself when you believe you deserve the best? How do you show up in relationships when you know you're lovable? How do you handle money when you believe you deserve abundance? Who are you being when you're experiencing all of this? What characteristics and traits do you have? Are you confident? Are you peaceful? Are you generous? Are you playful? Are you grateful? Are you trusting? Get specific about the kind of person you are when you're living your desired reality. Next, consider what your worldview is. How do you see the world when you are living this reality of being loved and provided for? Do you see the world as a friendly place that wants to support you? Do you see abundance everywhere you look? Do you see evidence that love is available to you? When you're experiencing the love and provision you desire, how do you view other people? Do you see them as potential sources of love and support, or as competition? Do you see their success as evidence that success is possible, or as proof that there's less available for you? Take a moment to bring powerful affirmations to life. First, create affirmations about your identity, about how you see yourself. These need to feel true and possible, not like something you're trying to convince yourself of. It could be something like, I am worthy of deep, genuine love. I am a magnet for abundance because I know my true value. I deserve to be cherished and provided for. I am enough exactly as I am. I attract people who see my worth. Money flows to me because I'm open to receiving. Then create affirmations that relate to your vision of the world. For example, the universe conspires to bring me love. Abundance flows to me easily and naturally. Everything happens at the perfect time for my highest good. There is more than enough love and money for everyone. The world is full of people who want to love and support me. As you dedicate yourself to repeating these affirmations daily and internalizing them, be prepared to witness an incredible transformation. The reality you perceive, the way you see the world, will begin to change before your eyes. But this isn't just about saying words. This is about becoming the person these affirmations describe. This is about making decisions from this new identity. This is about treating yourself the way someone who believes these things would treat themselves. Even if what you want seems impossible for you today, it doesn't mean that you won't be able to achieve it tomorrow. Everything takes time, practice, and patience. The person you are today might not be ready for everything you want, but the person you're becoming through this process will be. So respect your timing, but also don't let certain fears stop you from reaching for the extraordinary. Don't let your current circumstances convince you that you don't deserve better. Don't let other people's opinions about what's possible for you limit what you're willing to believe about yourself. Make sure you take a moment to do this exercise. Write down your new identity affirmations and your new worldview affirmations. Read them every morning when you wake up and every night before you go to sleep. But more importantly, start making decisions from this new identity throughout your day. Ask yourself, how would someone who knows they deserve love handle this situation? What would someone who knows they deserve abundance do in this moment? How would someone who believes they're worthy respond to this challenge? This has the power to completely revolutionize your life because you're not just thinking differently, you're being different. And when you change who you're being, your entire world changes in response. Guys, this is real. This is something I applied in my own life, and it really worked. I'm sharing this with you because I know the transformation that's possible when you truly understand and apply these principles. At the beginning of my spiritual journey, I thought this was complete nonsense. I believed I had to work harder than everyone else to prove myself. I thought I had to earn my worthiness through perfect behavior, through achieving certain goals, through making other people happy at the expense of my own needs. I believed that love was something I had to chase after and convince people to give me. I thought abundance was reserved for other people, people who were smarter, luckier, more connected, or more deserving than I was. I was completely trapped in the worthiness cycle, observing my lack and creating more lack through that observation. But when I started practicing these principles and really committing to changing my internal image of myself, the results were beyond anything I had imagined. The love and abundance I wanted started coming to me in ways that felt magical, but I now understand were just natural responses to my changed internal state. I started attracting people who valued me for who I was, not for what I could do for them. Opportunities began appearing that were aligned with my gifts and talents. Money started flowing to me through channels I had never expected. But more importantly, I started feeling worthy of all these good things, so I could actually receive and enjoy them. When you truly know you deserve love and abundance, everything in your life improves. Your relationships become healthier because you stop accepting crumbs and start expecting to be treated well. Your finances improve because you stop undervaluing yourself and start charging what you're worth. Your health improves because you start taking better care of yourself. But the most beautiful change is internal. You stop living in constant anxiety about whether you're good enough. You stop checking for approval from others because you know your worth comes from within. You stop settling for less than you deserve because you finally understand what you deserve. As we understand this mirror of worthiness, we discover a power we often overlook. What we see around us is truly an echo of how worthy we feel inside. Every relationship, every opportunity, every experience is showing us something about our internal relationship with ourselves. The secret of transformation is that instead of just looking at our current situation and feeling bad about it, we must shape our destiny with the image of someone who deserves love and abundance. We must become that person from the inside out. The universe knows no limits when it comes to what it can provide for you. It only responds to what you believe you deserve. There is no shortage of love in the universe. There is no shortage of abundance. There is no shortage of opportunities. The only shortage is in our willingness to believe that we deserve these things. When you truly believe you deserve love, the universe has infinite ways to bring love into your life. When you truly believe you deserve abundance, the universe has countless channels through which abundance can flow to you. Your only job is to know your worth and allow good things to come to you. Your journey of understanding your worthiness is really a journey of remembering who you've always been. You didn't come into this world believing you weren't good enough. You didn't come here thinking you had to earn love or prove your value. These are things you learned along the way that covered up your natural knowing of your own worth. This process is about peeling away the layers of unworthiness that were never truly you and returning to the truth of who you are. Someone who is inherently deserving of love, abundance, joy, peace, and all good things. The truth that you deserve to be loved and lavishly provided for isn't just a nice idea or a positive thought. It's a spiritual law that governs how your life unfolds. When you align with this truth, when you live from this knowing, when you make decisions from this place of worthiness, your entire reality transforms. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and become the conscious creator of your experience. You stop settling for less and start expecting the best. You stop wondering if you're good enough and start knowing that you are more than enough. The love you've been seeking is seeking you. The abundance you've been wanting is wanting you. The life you've been dreaming of is dreaming of you too. Your only job is to believe you deserve it and allow it to come to you. Remember, you didn't come here to struggle. You didn't come here to prove your worth. You didn't come here to accept less than your heart desires. You came here to experience love in all its forms and to live abundantly in every way. The mirror of your life is waiting to reflect back to you the beautiful truth of your worthiness. All you have to do is show it who you really are, someone who deserves to be loved and lavishly provided for always and in all ways. I hope this knowledge will be the light that guides you to receiving the love and abundance you deserve. If this video touched your heart and opened your mind to new possibilities, please like and subscribe to our channel so we can continue bringing you content that transforms lives. Share this video with others who need to hear this message about their worthiness. There are people in your life who are struggling to believe they deserve good things, and this message could be exactly what they need to hear today. Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts and experiences about deserving love and abundance. Tell us about a time when you settled for less than you deserved, or share how you're going to start applying these principles in your own life. Your story could inspire someone else to step into their worthiness. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Thank you for being open to the possibility that you deserve so much more than you've been allowing yourself to receive. Remember, you are worthy of all the love and provision your heart desires. You always have been and you always will be. Take care and see you soon.